Welcome, everybody. We are here. We're live and we are recording. Yes. So I just want to welcome everybody to the Push Project, the Push Talk. The last series, we had such good conversations, such good feedback that we decided to do it again. Yeah. So before we go any further, I would like to give it up for our author, Nick Heyward.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so honored to have a whole friend that's an author. I'm just trying to make you feel like you special. Yeah, I'm special. Okay, yeah. So I do with a quote. And I want to know if you guys can figure out who is the person. So here's the quote. Instead of letting your hardships and failures discourage or exalt you, let them inspire you. What beautiful Black woman said that?
Oh, wow.
Anybody have an idea?
Michelle Obama.
I said it first.
Say that.
I said it first, you know that, right?
The reason why that quote I thought was so fitting to start this off, because Nick, of course, I got a question that comes behind the quote. So is this kind of like the hope for your book, right? Because you are pushing us to love, pushing us to heal, pushing us to turn back to Christ. And what she's saying is her hardships and failures, don't let it discourage you or exalt you. So because of that, is that kind of like what you want your book to do? Because you had to push through and now you are inspiring other people to do the same?
Exactly. You know, the book is here as a tool to help us get to the next level. And while we're getting there, we have to remember that our past and our shortcomings and things of that nature, they're nothing to be embarrassed of, but those are the things that shaped us and prepared us to have a story to reach everyone. I say all the time, there's no such thing as a carbon copy Christian. So therefore, everything that you've been through, everything that you're going through, Christ allowed those things so that you can have an experience to reach and relate to the people that are going through those things. Mm-hmm. You know, I've said it before, I've never had a baby, so I really can't give much advice on pregnancy and birthing a baby. But those that have, you've been through the situation, so it prepared you and you can sort of see signs in other people and motivate them and help them along the way.
Right. So you started off your statement with saying as Christian. Let me just address that. Yes. I want to. A lot of time, this book is designed to reach everybody, the massive. It does not matter what your religion background is. So what it is that you're offering, it absolutely can go across the masses. And I say that because sometimes when we move religion out of the way and we can hold tight to the affirmations, healing can come through there when we can let a lot of religion mumbo jumbo die and, like really deal with the truth and do the work.
Mm-hmm. That's it. You're so right.
Yeah,
it's
so
blank.
I know you started off with that, but it is meant for the masses, no matter what the religion is.
Whoever you are, if you're a person that has a situation, the Push Project should be able to help you push through it. Mm-hmm. You know, if you find whatever you're going through, whoever you are, there's a push in this book to help you get through it.
Right. I just wanted to address that because I too am I'm not a Christian. I want to say I'm a saint of God because them other people gave us that name somewhere in Acts. If you read in Acts, they started calling the people Christian. But God called us saints of God. He called us his children. Right. And I would rather be his child any day than to just be a Christian. So I just wanted to go ahead and address that, put that out there. I love Jesus, God, the Holy Ghost, and the whole Trinity. But I want to make sure that the people know it is for everybody. Okay. So with that being said, yes, I want everybody to introduce themselves. And as you introduce yourself, I want to know, what is your favorite affirmation in the book? So have everybody read the book that's on here?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we'll start with you, Stacy. Introduce yourself and then let us know what is your favorite affirmation and why.
My name is Stacy Parker. I live in Anderson, South Carolina. And my favorite affirmation is number 13. Well, actually, all of the I am affirmations are my favorite, but my favorite one is number 13, that the one that I am not willing to give up. That's my favorite one. Yeah.
Okay, why did that one stick out for you?
Because that's just who I am. That speaks to me, who I am. Just a little about my background. I, was a single parent. I raised a son by myself and put myself, I was on food stamps, on welfare, on all of, different government assistance programs, put myself through school, raised a successful young Black man that's never been arrested, never been, kicked out of school, is serving God today, doing, great things in life. And, I'm not willing to give up. I'm not. And I've said that, when I had him as a teenager, and I'll still say it today, I'm not willing to give up. No matter come what may, I'm not willing to give up. So that just speaks to who I am as a woman.
Okay, great. Okay, we're gonna go with, is it Andre? Andre? Okay, we can't hear you, Andre. Okay.
You got to unmute.
Now he took it off. Maybe now it's on mute. There you go. Okay, well, wait, Andre, we're going to come back to you while you figure it out. Terrell,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
introduce yourself. Let us know what is your favorite affirmation.
I am Terrell Wells. I live in Houston, Texas, by the way of Mississippi. My favorite affirmation is, I'm going to have to go with 30. Basically because it just overcoming obstacles. And I mean, I've been through a lot of obstacles. So,
what is the affirmation? What is 30?
It's affirmation 30. So it says, you are doing just fine. So basically, like, the part I like about it, when it says, on these days when you find it hard to swim, just tread water. And the chaos may be all around you, but don't let it consume you. It seems like I faced that a lot. Like, some days get overwhelming. And just by reading this, I'm like, oh, man, it's kind of, it helps you to breathe a little better. And you can tackle some of the hardest things because sometimes what it is, we find out we let stuff accumulate. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, man, I'm overwhelmed with this stuff. But just keep on treading away at it, right? Chip away at it, little at a time. And all of a sudden, you're looking back, you're like, oh, that wasn't so hard. So I like that one
hard?
the most.
I made it through it.
Yeah, I made it through with the grace of God. So, yeah. I really love that one.
Okay, that is good. I think it's very important. A lot of times we need to learn to release instead of suppress. We need to just know it's going to be okay. Like, sometimes you just really need to know it's going to be okay. It don't matter how tough it is, how deep the water is. You might not even see the shore. You might not even know how long you gonna have to tread, but you got to know it's okay. You still have to know it's
like
okay.
in the end, it's just say you're doing just fine. Simple as that.
You're doing fine.
Simple
I think a lot of the time we put all these things on ourselves to think we have to do it like this, or it need to look like that, or it has to be done by this time. You doing just
fine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Miss Tanya, is it Tanya?
It is Tanya, yeah.
All right, please introduce yourself and let us know your favorite affirmation.
Hey, you guys, I'm Tanya McCree, and I reside in Lancaster, South Carolina.
Okay.
My favorite affirmation, and I will say this, I don't necessarily have a favorite. What I have noticed for me is that it depends on the headspace I'm in that particular day, which one, reverberates with my spirit. And so presently, the one that really stuck out to me, because as I was reviewing it, I was like, which one sticks out? But today for me, it's affirmation 34. And the title is, You Are Inspirational. And what it's basically talking about is someone is always looking. Someone is always talking. You may not know it. and you don't know how what you're going through and how you're handling what you're going through, and your positivity in what you're going through is blessing somebody else, and it's encouraging somebody else, although it may be silently, it's inspiring somebody else to continue to push.
Yes.
Hello, somebody.
Yes.
To continue to push in
Yeah,
spite of, because they see you pushing, and I have a family member that says, simply make it look excellent.
All
And
right.
so, you gotta make it look excellent, because we're of an excellent family. Come on,
Yeah.
Drew. Okay.
All right now.
We are royalty here. We royalty.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
We gonna walk it. Okay. But my favorite line of this particular excerpt is the last part. You are inspirational. And so with a lot of the things that I'm going through right now, that reminded me that how I handle it, people are watching, and they're talking, may not be talking to anybody else, but it's talking to their spirit. So I have to remain inspirational.
Okay.
Right.
I totally agree with that people are always watching. And we started this off with Nick making a comment about Christians. As Christians and as saints of God, we are under a microscope at all times, because people see that as you profess a thing, they want to see, are you living it? It's one to talk it, but you must talk and walk it. And if you're talking it, and then as soon as the water get too deep and you don't want to tread the water and you give up, then they like, oh, okay, well, she know Jesus, and she can't make it. How I'm gonna make it?
You better tell them.
That's all what it is. And like even now with Nick and his book, since the release of the book, y'all know people watching, right? Y'all know people watching.
Undoubtedly.
They trying to see how it's gonna go. Is this something he gonna do for a month or two? Like what Nick gonna really do with this? So he have to stay persistent, because this is his baby. This is what God gave him to give to the universe. Do you feel like people is watching Nick? Have you felt a difference or a shift from the time you released the book to now?
I've definitely noticed a shift. I've heard some conversation, but more so, I'm more aware in situations where I may want to lose my cool or respond in a certain way. I see the cover of the book and I'm just like, perfect example. Today, I had a situation at work where there was there was a right thing that could have been done and needed to be said, but there was a way to deliver the message. And I approached the situation, and there's some people, you've talked to them repeatedly, so you feel as though they don't understand, Nicholas. So you may need to give them Nick so you can help them along the way. And as I began to give them Nick, I thought about it, and I said, this ain't the way. So I kind of regrouped quickly. And after the situation was over, I was like, your insides are hurting because you said what needed to be said, but your insides are hurting because you didn't deliver it in a way to help them hold on to it. And it came to me that, I was like, but Nick, you're sitting here and they know you as minister and all these different things. And I'm like, but I'm just Nick. But Christ spoke to me and said, it's easy to minister the gospel to an audience that came for a word and is waiting to accept the word. But true ministry begins with humility and forgiveness in the presence of people that don't even know me. Now that's when you're ministering, because you're doing my work and you're giving my example to people that aren't here to receive it and don't even understand it. So now if you can minister in private to these people, ministering in public to those that are on the page with you is easy.
It is.
So,
and that's where it counts. It counts in private. It counts in our everyday life, at the grocery store, on the road, in traffic, when you ready to help them in that traffic and they just cut you off. You want to give them you, but you can't give them you because it ain't gonna come out right. You want to give them you, But those are the opportunities, like not when people is watching, but to sincerely live as a saint of God at all times. So being mindful of who you are and the whole I am in affirming and confirming and reaffirming that you are. I am love. I am forgiving. Therefore, I can forgive. I can deliver this message in love and respect. Like I can do that. I think we got Andre. We got the sound check. Sound check. Microphone 1, 2, 3. Come on, give us some sound, Andre.
Hello, can y'all hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. So introduce yourself and your favorite affirmation today. It may be a different one tomorrow. So whatever your favorite affirmation is today.
Okay. Well, first off, I'm Andre Heyward. I'm Nick's little brother. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here and be a part of this discussion. It means a lot to me. In terms of watching, I've definitely been watching since you've released this, just to kind of see like how far we can go. You know, I wish you nothing but success, and I just want to see how big it can grow.
All right.
In terms of what's my favorite one, the one that actually hit me and made me tear up was the very first one, the purpose pain. So many times we go through certain things in life and we lose sight that what we're going through, we may not know the purpose of it right now, but like a tool, we're being forged into something to handle what's ahead. And everything we go through, it's not in vain.
Okay. Yeah, totally agree. I think sometimes when we're in the pain and we're dealing with it, if we can ask ourselves or ask God, what is the lesson to learn? So you can become aware of the purpose. And just write. I don't know if any of you guys journal, but I'm a real journal. I would journal about anything. I would journal about a frog tried to jump on my leg and I was clean down the street. I'm that kind of journal. But when I'm in the midst of something I really don't understand and I find myself crying, I have a key thing to do where I acknowledge to God the pain and then I surrender. And once you acknowledge and surrender and you just go with the flow in grace, you learn what you need to learn from that so you can teach others. At all times, I'm going to always say this, we should be a student or a teacher. We are either teaching or learning at any given time. And when we stop learning, we stop growing. So, Nick, for your brother, because I'm telling y'all know it's hard to get your family on the train, right? And when your family get on the train and they believe in you, because they're your worst critic, they'll be like, you ain't spell this right in the book. Your subject verb agreement didn't do right. But for him to see the bigger picture and supporting you, I just want to say that is huge. That is huge. Yeah, and it means a lot. Thank you, brother.
Oh, anytime.
Okay, so here's the next question for everyone, and whoever wants to start first, it's totally up to you. Just let me know. Reading the book, how have it inspired you personally? Reading the whole book, the 20 I am and the 20 you are, how have that inspired you as a whole? Okay, Tanya. Nobody raise their hand?
Well, look, I try to hold out because I can talk. The teacher in me goes. How it inspired me thus far is that it's been gentle and forceful reminders of who I am. Because sometimes I think we need that gentle reminder, take the trash out. Don't cuss nobody. You need a gentle reminder. Other times you need to be like in the book of Jude, they were snatched out. You need that firm reminder. Okay, you need that. Listen here, come here, let me talk to you for a second, Okay. And yes, and some of the affirmations, especially the you are's, because the majority of us who have faith, who are faith-based, we know what we are. Mm-hmm. We stand on those promises. So the I ams are easy. I can tell you all about what I am in God. Okay. I can girl, read that list down about what I am in him. However,
come on with the however.
Look, however, comma, as I normally say it. However, comma.
Okay.
The you are's, I need to be harshly reminded sometimes that I am those things, because we gotta, once again, going back to what it is about pushing. We a lot of times have to push ourselves to know that we are those things. You know, it's easy to say I am, but when rubber hits the road, you know, is somebody else looking at it and see the you are's. That's somebody else telling you what you are. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we may not always see what other people, the good, the bad, the indifferent. We may not always see what other people, you know, think we are or know us to be. Hello. So for me, the you are's have inspired me more so to be reminded that I am those things, despite what I'm going through, despite what life is giving me, despite how many times I've had to tie a knot in the rope and hold on tighter. I am those things. Yes. So I have to put that in my spirit and progress forward with that.
Okay. Beautiful. So it inspires you gently, but at the time, a little rough. Go on and push you. Sometimes it's just like that little nudge in the side, and then sometimes you just got to go on and push them. So it's a balance for you with the nudge in the side and then
No. It's not a nudge, baby. When God deal with me, he shoved me. Yeah. It's either gentle, come here, baby, do this, or listen here, little girl, come here, let me holler at you. You know, the big homie have to get on me. I'm that one. Yes.
And God know how to deal with each one of his children, don't he? You know how to
He does.
Oh yeah.
He does.
Yeah. How have the book inspired you in generally or as a whole, or however, have it inspired you forward?
Was it me? Were you calling me? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Mine glitched a little. That's okay. Yeah. But the book, it has really, I mean, it's done what the title said. It's pushing me, because, you know, I think Nick did a live one night on Facebook, and I was watching, I don't know if it was at night or not, but I was watching it, a live that he did. And one thing that he said really, you know, stuck with me. He said, you know, while opposition is talking, let your faith speak for you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, you know, and that reminded me, okay, you know, when I'm going through things and things are opposing me, you know, I had to remember, okay, I got this book right here. You know, I got this book. Let me go back and refer to, you know, look through this book. And I found, you know, some more affirmations, and it just, what I was going through at that time, because as Tanya was saying, we know who we are. You know, other people may say, oh, you're so strong. And I see you doing this, and I see you going through that. But they don't see what's in here. They don't see what's going on and what's, you know, rolling around. And I always often refer to something my pastor said. You know, he said, you know, we'll make up a whole movie in our head of something that's not really even going on. You know, people don't see that. You know, no matter how strong we look, no matter how big that smile is, you know, there are things that, you know, are coming up against us. So this book has really pushed me and reminded me, okay, you know, don't be so hard on yourself. Stay focused and remember where you're going, and remember that you're going to win when you get to the end. So that's what this is doing, and that's what's reminding me.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Stacey.
Yes. You're welcome.
The Push Project, how have it inspired you?
Who name
it's on you, Terrell.
Oh, every time you say the name, it glitch. Okay. Well, yeah, just a thought, you know, when he told me he wrote a book. So I'm like, you completed a book? So that in itself gave me a push, right? I'm like, okay, now I got something to help push me, right? And you know, it's a song, but I won't sing the song. It just sticks in my head. It's just a song that goes like kick, push, kick, push. So I'm like, it's a lot of things I've been meaning to complete myself. So once I realized Nick wrote a book and I started reading, I'm like, oh, wow. now I got something to encourage me. So I think just the whole idea that he wrote a book, finished the book, and put it out, that's been my push. So.
Oh, awesome. So you are, Nick, you inspired from all points of view, from your words that are in the book and just the fact that you wrote it. I don't even feel like he needs to read the book. I don't need to read the book.
Yeah, and I read it though.
Empowered because you wrote it and finished it, and it's on Amazon.
Right.
Terrell is
exactly.
You hear me?
Exactly. You know,
it worked.
The guy know, you know, so it's like, oh, this guy, you know, he's touchable, so it makes it better that way, I guess.
So the Push Project is working on levels we don't even know it's working on. Thank you for that, Terrell.
Yes, ma'am.
Andre, how have it inspired your life?
Basically by providing that reminder that you're bigger than a lot of the situations you're facing and you're going through, and also in terms of the book itself. I'm the type of person, I like to start a lot of personal projects and kind of leave stuff on the back burner. So just kind of keep it with my New Year's resolution, just seeing things through and actually finishing what I start. So it's been a big inspiration to me in many ways. That's
a whole word. Nick, you know how many times people start a thing and will not finish it?
Let me tell you how many I started it.
But the thing, the beauty of it is, Andre, when you do like finally finish or that goal or that vision or that project, it just only empowers you to go do more, because now you know you have the ability, you have the intellect, you have the strength and the know-how to do it. So would you guys recommend the Push Project to other people, and why?
Oh, I already have. There's like 3 of my friends that's come over. Like, this is on my coffee table. So everybody always, first of all, they see the last name Heyward. They think it's my book. I always have to correct them. No, that's my brother's. Mine ain't come yet. But I let them read about 4 or 5 pages. Then I cut them off. I tell them, like, if you want to read the rest, go on Amazon, go get the book. You can't borrow mine. This is mine. Get your own.
That was me. I went ahead and bought 5 because I know I'm going to give and share, and I know the people around me need it. And the way I highlight and write up my book, you can't use this book. And then like on the sidelines, I don't know about you guys, but like on the side of the book, wait a minute, let me see. Like, let's see if y'all can see that. You see that? I don't want y'all in my business though. But like, I had to write like my own personal notes. You know how where it hits you, and you like, oh man, that was God delivered me from that. So you put the affirmation with where God have delivered you. They can't read my book, baby. Let me bless your life, because you're not looking at it. It's too personal. So anybody else who have shared, plan on sharing, and why do you think the Push Project is worth pushing so other people can get it?
I allowed God to lead me with particular people to mail the book out to, because I'm like, you can give somebody a book, but if they ain't in that season where they need it, you just gave them something that's going to collect dust. And I don't want my money to go to waste. I don't want this knowledge to go to waste.
Correct.
You need to be picking up the book. And so there are particular friends who they were one of the things that we spoke on earlier was that it's across the masses. It's for anybody. It's across religious barriers, all of that, personal barriers, flesh-colored barriers, all of that. It goes beyond that. It's about affirming, who you are, what you are. Anybody needs affirmation. Everybody needs affirmation.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to speak positivity in their life. And so one girlfriend in particular, she said when the book arrived, because I didn't tell her I was sending it to her. She said when the book arrived on that day, she was like, I needed this because I was in a place and I needed some affirming things in my life. And she was like, just to read those affirmations and to speak those things daily. Because I don't know about any of you, but I used to have this thing where I would write sticky notes.
Yes.
Of affirmations and put them around, wherever, reminders. And then I got to the point where I take an expo marker and I write it in my mirror in my bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I change it ever so often. Once it gets out of my spirit and I think I've learned it, then I put a new one,
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, it's just another tool to use to bless people in a way that you're being blessed. And then also, when I gift it to friends, I say, listen, I need you to understand that this boy right here is from the Low Country, just like me. Okay. We've been through some things in this journey together called life. And I'm like,
yes,
the positivity that comes from it. And then on top of it, he has regular people that he pulled from,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
to put in the book.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, just all whatever. No, this is real life experiences, real life. Like, I don't know about any of y'all, but I really don't want to know that you know unless I know that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nick said, don't tell me, I can't tell you about having a baby, I never push one out.
Right.
Listen, I don't want to know about smoking crack if you ain't never smoked crack.
Exactly.
I'm just saying,
And that's
I don't
true.
know. I really don't want to know.
If you haven't experienced it, even with somebody that goes to school for 12 years, right? They can have all the degrees in the world, but me as a married person, if you're not married, I don't care about all your degrees, you can't help me at all. Now, you can go out there and help somebody else and, like sit on their couch and talk to them. But if you haven't experienced marriage, I'm not going to you for counseling.
Oh, no,
I don't care
no.
how many years you've been in school for it. It's nothing like the education and the experience. Because I think you need both. But you just can't help me in that area if you've never been married. So that makes sense to know that they have done this, they have pushed through, and they are living what they're writing about.
Yeah, and speaking from a Christian point of it, because you talked about Christianity early and being Christ-like, experience plus the knowledge of makes for your testimony.
Exactly. So who else wants to share on how this book can benefit someone else?
I'll share. I believe it'll benefit other people because, just speaking, kind of piggybacking a little on what Tanya was just saying, about someone having that experience and being able to push someone else to that point, because you are showing, and it's showing in the book how he pulled from other people. He's pushing us, but he showed how these other people actually pushed him, because he's referencing them and what they've been through.
Mm-hmm.
But it's showing, okay, I have this experience, but I made it through it. So this is, I went through this, but I made it to the other side, and you can too. So that's what I think this book will do for other people.
So it's affirming and encouraging
Mm-hmm.
and giving hope. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I did. Affirmation 9. It is, let me look it up. I believe it is, I am my brother's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me just tell y'all about that, because I got something ooh, that was so good to me. I highlighted, I prayed for God to send me a sign that he loved me. I am my brother's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
For me, who was raised without a father, right? I met him when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I didn't see him anymore. So I had all kind of love issues, or the lack of love issue, right? But it was one Father's Day. We were sitting in church, and I really didn't want to go. I was sitting on the back row. I'm about 20-some years old. I'm crying. You're not daddy. Don't nobody love me, right? But as I was sitting there upset, God was showing me that he was my father. Mm-hmm. And he started showing me all the way where he protected and provided and was showing me how he have loved me from the beginning. That the only reason why I was sitting there in the back of the church crying was because I was in his mind and he needed me to be there. So we're going to kind of like wrap up with I am my brother's keeper. And I want to say love shows up when we are willing to receive, because we are loved. The only way we are here, the only way we are all talking on this Zoom, on this call right now, is because of love. That's the only thing that has sustained us. God is love. You can't have love and don't have God. Like it doesn't work. I don't know what it is. It could be something that look like love, but if God is love, and the only reason why we here because God is in us, then we have love. So, Nick, yes. I want you to take it from here with I am my brother's keeper, and just go from there.
All right. I am my brother's keeper. This one is near and dear to me because it was one of my most transparent moments, I'd say, in the book. And in my life, I learned to master the art of showing a good face despite what was on the inside. And it took me a long time to realize that it doesn't matter what you look like, but it's what you're made of that's going to make the biggest difference. And I had just gone through a lot of loss. I lost my grandmother. I lost my aunt. I was in a new city. I was single. It was just a lot happening. And a part of me felt like God was obligated to do something miraculous right then in that moment. And, you know, in my mind, I really was like, you know, the heavens are going to open up and somebody's going to step down and they're going to say, oh, you're my child. And it's going to be bright lights and warm feelings. And I prayed, and I wasn't in the most Christian place at that time in my life, but I prayed them prayers from Friday night tarrying service. I prayed them face wet, nose snotty, if he coming, he's going to come right now prayers, and nothing happened.
My God.
And so then the devil stepped in and said, just end your life because nobody's going to miss you. Nobody even knows really where you are. Wow. But the phone rang and the call from my cousin wasn't like, you know, thus said the Lord. It was just, I'm thinking about you and I love you and you've accomplished so much. And she just went down this resume of things. And I'm literally crying, holding this bottle of medication in my hand. If this call would have come 2 or 3 minutes later, this whole situation could be different. Mm-hmm. So I am my brother's keeper reminds us it's not all about blood. It's about bonds. It's not all about religion. It's about being available. Oh, yes, it's not all about any of these things. We just have to be open. We just have to be available, and we have to be obedient.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where I am my brother's keeper takes me.
That's awesome. That moment of silence. I just feel like we needed it.
That's awesome, sauce. Yeah.
I am my brother's keeper. For me, it definitely have nothing to do with blood. Me showing up and the people that have showed up for me at those same kind of crossroads, most time they wasn't blood. It wasn't. They was there. I got cousins, I have sisters, I have a mom, I have, aunties and uncles. But I can tell you most of those turning points for me, it wasn't blood. Mm-hmm. That kind of like pulled me out back to the marvelous light. Okay. it was not blood. So I just want to say, you guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story. I think Michelle Obama also said that as we share our stories, it allows other people to share their stories and heal. And for you to be so transparent, Nick, at a time where people want to put on this facade of being a thing, right. But then as our true self show up, it allows other people to be true to who they are. Mm-hmm. And that is what it's about, to show up as yourself, wherever you are, even though you need healing, you may need forgive, whatever it is, show where you are, because when you show up as your authentic self, that's where you can really be helped. So we definitely thank you so much, Nick, for putting out this project. We thank you for the push talk. I thank you for being able to be on here and be a part of such goodness, because this is so much goodness. Anybody else have anything to say before we wrap it up, close it out?
Thank
All
you,
right,
Nick.
y'all.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
I want to let you know, I Am My Brother's Keeper is a deep one, especially with everything that we're going through in this world currently at this moment. And we can look at that from so many different ways. And our next installment of Push Talk, we're going to focus fully on affirmation number 9, I am my brother's keeper.
Wow.
So stay tuned and get ready. I would love to have you all back along with some other guests. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for helping us push, and everybody be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good night.
Night.
Thank you.